The beast, she live.
What?
It live. It's alive.
What? Are we talking about Frankenstein's monster? What are we talking about?
No, that would be Frankenstein. Frankenstein, the real monster.
Right. Okay.
Excuse me, it's Frankenstein's monster. No, I'm talking about the doctor. Why don't you sit your ass down? No, the show. Longtime listeners of the show will remember that the show computer is the real villain of the show. Like if we need a swiper on this thing to talk about some trailers that are coming up, it's the computer of this show.
Yeah.
The computer that I bought a couple years ago to take us to the next level. And to be honest, we got there. We got to the next level, but it was, because this thing was pursuing us. That's how we got there in the first place.
Yeah.
And so we got a new computer, thanks to, in no small part, contributions from our patrons, the sort of stockholders and members of the show. We were able to cobble together some money and get a nice new computer. That new computer crapped itself about a month in, let's say 32 days, just beyond the point of when it could be returned under the Amazon warranty.
Right.
And so that's why you buy local, I guess. But anyway, and I would say it's probably a Showgirls situation. I think maybe
Why do you say
the
that?
beast pushed it down the stairs from an electronic standpoint.
Oh, my goodness.
Why would it go wrong?
Yeah.
Why would there be a problem?
I know.
But that's where we are.
Yeah.
And so while that thing makes its way back to, thank God, be serviced under the terms of the 1-year manufacturer's warranty,
Yes.
God knows what it'll look like when it gets back.
I hope it's in good condition still.
They must do it in like a semi-clean situation, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Like a
dust-free.
clean room situation. This isn't like, I used to work in an electronic servicing plant, but it was like server stuff. So the main thing you had to do was, ESD stuff, like a smock, touch the thing when you come in, stand on a pad.
Sure.
You couldn't fry any of the server equipment or it might work, or no, excuse me, not work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is like, you're cracking open my $2,000 laptop here. You better have a mask on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, funny thing is, one of the reasons that we got that new computer is that the beast finally died, or at least it was playing dead.
Right.
And so, time for a new computer. To my surprise, about 2 weeks after we got the new computer, the beast showed signs of life. And now the beast, in one of those like sort of face turns that you get, like when Magneto joins the X-Men, or like Sabretooth is good now. I don't know why these are all X-Men related examples, but it just works. The Beast is now, pulling heavy duty. The Beast is holding the world up, like Atlas, while the new computer is getting serviced.
Yeah.
New computer, no stamina. No stamina.
Yeah, whereas the beast can go forever.
Old computer
and ever.
can go forever.
Yeah.
Just slowly.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll just quit because it wants to go home and it's done.
Right. It has a mind of its own. For sure.
Yeah, you don't want that in a computer.
No, you don't.
I mean, I want a logical brain. Technically, I want it to have a mind of its own, but don't have a mind of your own.
Right.
Do what I tell you.
Go where I want you to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the beast can get us through this time where we do not have the new computer. And hopefully the new computer will come back in better shape than it left us.
That is the hope.
Yes.
But it's all about renewals, isn't it?
Yes.
It's all about changes, about new things, about things, beginnings, endings, new beginnings. And that's where we find ourselves at this San Diego Comic-Con of 2019. We're not there. I don't want to misrepresent that we're there. Love to be there.
Someday.
Next year.
You think next year?
We always say next year, but let's actually do it next year.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, we'll do it. Anyway, we're sorry. First of all, I should introduce ourselves. We're more professional than this. What's wrong with us? Calm down a little. Take a Xanax. We're the Just Enough to a Podcast, man.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mikan Hana.
Isn't nice? Isn't like weed just like natural Xanax?
I guess.
It's like natural, grows in the ground.
I wouldn't really know, but I guess so.
I love that argument. Everything is natural.
Right.
Nothing came from outer
That's true.
space except for octopus is octopi.
Yeah, right.
So it's all natural. Like it's just what you want is THC, which is a chemical that if I drew it on a piece of paper and I drew the Xanax chemical, which I can't remember right now on a piece of paper, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart.
Right.
Unless, yeah, man, yeah, I can. See this tattoo? Leaf. See this tattoo? THC molecule structure.
Right,
Cannabinoid molecule.
I can see that.
Sounds like I know a lot about pot, doesn't it?
It does.
I've never done pot, so I don't know why I know so much. But
I don't know why
how did we even get here? Oh, yeah, to bring you all the news that's fit to cast in the world of nerdy entertainment. And that news is all SDCC right now. It is what it's called, San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Which is a ton of trailers, a ton of announcements about stuff.
Yep.
You know, I mentioned New Beginnings. It's a new beginning for a couple different franchises, which we'll talk about on the show here, and try to get you all the information we can. It's still going on, but, you know, it's the last day. We're recording this on Sunday, so I guess if anything comes out that we missed, we'll talk about it on a later show. But, yeah, it's a lot of news, and that's pretty much going to be it for this week. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Cal. Kind of glad we're recovering, and in some ways I'm glad that we're not at San Diego, just because it would be 3 cons in a row.
Well, we almost did 3 cons in a row.
Yeah, I know.
Still want to do 3 cons in a row.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't last minute cheaper?
I don't
Isn't that how travel
know
works?
that it is. Sometimes it works out that way, but I wouldn't say that's the golden rule, you know?
I mean, you don't actually have to stand if you're on standby. You get to sit. They should call it sit by.
Well, yeah. Oh, boy. Wow. Sure. How are you doing, Cal?
Good. I you know, I don't have an answer for that question. I'm doing good. You know, I'm feeling pressured. I don't know why I feel pressure when these giant companies, you know, that have billions of dollars are releasing things, and people that should be, you know, I'm sure that they're worried that people will accept the kind of things they're bringing out.
Right.
People specifically, like, you know, Marvel is making a lot of changes.
Yes.
They have taken, you know, the last couple years off, or at least gone not as hard as they have before. And this is a big year for them. And it's not a big movie year.
No.
You know, they only had a couple movies to talk about, and a lot of it was other stuff, which we'll talk about. And so would be understandably nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I'm nervous about the new responsibility that I will have in covering a lot of this stuff. You know, there was a lot of big Star Trek announcements.
Yes.
And every one of them makes me kind of squeal a little bit, but it also makes me go, you know, immediately I go into like, okay, all right, well, what do we do? What do we do? It'd be like, you know, not bad example, but it'd be like if you ran like a widget company, a widget servicing company, and you'd always done the, you know, T21s, and then the company that makes the T21s announced the T2000s. You know, we've got 6 new models that do this and that, and go over there and do this. And you'd be like, oh, it's exciting for our industry. But you'd also be like, gotta hire some more service guys. We gotta get training on the T21,000s or whatever it was. That's how I feel. I'm looking at a lot of work going forward.
I understand what you're saying,
which is good. I mean, it's, you know, it's
good to be busy.
It's a good, and it's a good time to be in the podcast, specifically the nerd and Star Trek podcasting business. But after last weekend, when, you know, I had a tweet get 300 likes or something like that about some of the news coming out of the Star Trek thing. It's like, all right, man, this is what you wanted.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. And
I could use some CBD oil.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah. We were out somewhere for brunch the other day, and there was like a CBD cocktail. Yeah. It's just like, this stuff is everywhere, you know? So it's just like, wow, you can't escape. But I don't know. I guess it is a lot of responsibility, because there are a lot of new properties that are coming out, especially within the realm of Star Trek. But you do want your tweets to be popular and to be seen, and you know.
Yeah, I guess.
But then I guess there's added pressure of like, well, people really liked that tweet. Are they going to really like my next tweet? Or, you know, how do you keep it going? Yeah.
I just want to get canceled.
Right, exactly.
All the racist things that I'm saying all the time.
You are not. Don't say that.
And what's a real niche thing? Yeah, hedgehogs. Boy, I got a lot of opinions about hedgehogs.
Oh, boy.
Actually, that's not a good one, because
very niche. Oh, Sonic?
Specifically a hedgehog related flap on Twitter.
That's true.
I did not see, and why are we waiting? We should just get into our segment. But I did not see any specific news about Sonic the Hedgehog. Wouldn't this have been a good time for Sonic the Hedgehog to update? Stick his head out of the ground?
Yes.
That's how it works, right?
I don't know.
6 more weeks of no trailers?
Yeah, this would have been a great time to reveal the new look that we're supposedly going to get. You know, instead of what we got, which was kind of Uncanny Valley. But, yeah.
We've talked about this on a previous show, but this thing saw the Uncanny Valley and then it set a jump up and put its spangly jumpsuit on and tried to jump the Uncanny Valley on a dirt bike.
Right.
Why are we holding back? Let's just get into our news. So I was looking around to see if there was any non-news or non-SDCC news, and there's not really. I mean, it's pretty much all SDCC news. There might have been one or two things that we had missed before the weekend started, but here we are now. One thing that was announced before the weekend started was that Benioff and Weiss would not be attending the Game of Thrones panel.
Oh, why was that?
Because they're allergic to Rotten Tomatoes being thrown at them?
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Rotten Tomatoes ruined Rotten Tomatoes, didn't it?
Yeah.
I have to do cabbage or something instead?
Sure. Why announce it so late?
Yeah, right. Why not just immediately say, oh, we're working on something, which is what they said. But why not say it earlier? My thing is, why have a panel?
Well, that's true too, you know?
I know you see it as like a post-mortem situation.
Is it cathartic? I mean,
it was supposed to be cathartic because we were supposed to be like, the font, see you at the crossroads, the font farewell. And instead it's like, everybody hates this, just cancel the panel. I guess you rented the space already, but I'm sure somebody else would want to take it for something. Just say, it's nobody could make it. Gwendolyn Christie is throwing a party because she got nominated. Or there's all kinds of excuses, but yet they're going to have this, 2-minute hate, which... To be honest, I don't have the figures. I'm a journalist, newsman. I bet it was not quite as well as attended as some of the other panels.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Yeah. I think there are probably a lot of fans who are disappointed in it this past year.
Well, we've gone over that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, plenty. Did we talk about the fact that Frank Spotnitz, who you might know from working on the X-Files, also he created a couple different things. He did the series Hunted, I think that you enjoyed on Showtime, starring Melissa George. He's worked on The Man in the High Castles, the co-creator of that show. He is going to develop a TV series based on Warhammer 40K. Okay.
I think I saw an article about this, but I didn't actually. I just kind of read the title. What do you think that people are ready for a series like this? I mean, obviously Warhammer is very popular, but like, what would a series even be on? Like, because there's just so many different stories. I know there's
a lot of ways in.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the whole point, if you know anything about Warhammer 40K, it's the original grimdark.
Okay.
Universe. It's the 40K is that it's set in the year 40,000.
Okay.
And humans live in this terrifying, scary galaxy, where they're fighting, creatures from another dimension, and everything is terrible. And the titular, there are no titular heroes, I guess, but the main sort of heroes are generally seen as like the Space Marines.
Sure.
So it's like a future humanity has, the diaspora has taken us across the galaxy, right? Mm-hmm. And we have these things called Space Marines, which are barely human. They're like 8 foot tall sort of humans who have been genetically modified to have extra lungs, and they can eat a piece of their enemy's flesh and gain their knowledge, and they can do all these weird, gross things. Yeah, it's a lot of body horror type stuff. Okay. But they're the heroes. Right. And they're all heroes in that they're like Roman legions who are, zealously like committed to the God Emperor, who is a enlightened being who is dead basically, but he is like attached to this throne, and he psychically powers all the warp drives and the way that we get around. So it's like this death cult that's been going for like 10,000 years. Yeah, it's very weird, and there's no way in. And the whole thing is that like life is cheap. Like the real quote unquote real humans are just like faceless troopers, in the Imperial armies who are just sent into the meat grinder, sometimes literally, of fighting the orcs and like the Tau and all these weird, strange. It's not like Star Trek where you go out and it's like, oh, he's green and he's got a little chewing gum on his forehead and neat. Mm-hmm. And also he wants to bone me. Let's do this. Right. Like everything's terrible. It's horrible. There are horrible, terrible Lovecraftian things like waiting out in the cosmos. And so I don't see like a POV character. I don't know how you get into this.
Yeah.
There is no show on TV like this that I can think of.
Okay.
So, how do you ease your general viewer into it?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question.
Probably the most
seems overwhelming.
Yeah, well, it is. And probably the most relatable characters are like some of the orcs. Like,
oh, really?
yeah, because they're just like the orcs are like they're space orcs and they've got like machines, but they don't. But one of the things about the universe is that I'm not an expert on this at all. I've just played the role playing game a couple times, and I have some friends that write tie-in novels that I haven't really read. So it's like they use like this advanced machinery, but a lot of it is like the principles and science behind it has been lost. So there's sort of like a magical element to just, like a coffee maker. And so you use this stuff, but you don't really understand it. And the orcs have this sort of, they're like orcs and dwarves put together in that they're sort of like tinkery and they, but I don't know. They're kind of like designed to be kind of funny and like, I don't know. Just
interesting.
I just don't know how you get into this. I mean, clearly you just pick a character that is, just like you'd like, like something like Gladiator, like the Russell Crowe movie, or any Roman movie. Russell Crowe is fine with slavery. It exists in his world.
Right.
He's fine with putting men to death, in a blood sport. And we would go, that's horrible, but we understand that there's a nobility in Maximus as a character for his time and place. And so you just take that, you just add 40,000 years to it, and now you've got a character who is a Romanish general type guy who doesn't care about killing orcs, squishing orc brains, but he's got some sense of honor in his universe. But it's going to be tough.
Okay. Huh. It seems very ambitious.
I have opinions about this.
Yes, you do. It seems very ambitious, and I'm kind of curious to see how they will pull this off.
Yeah, me too. I want to see how they pull off the Gossip Girl reboot.
Oh boy. Well, this wasn't talk about SDCC, was it?
At HBO Max.
Oh,
no, this is all pre-SDCC news. This is like, get it in before.
All right, yeah. So it's not gonna have the same characters, right?
It's from the original writer and executive producer, so this would be man, I had to learn their names because of the Starfleet Academy show, but now I don't remember their names. Stephanie Savage and Josh Safran or Ding Dong Schwartz.
Okay.
And it's based on the book, just like the original one. As far as we know, I'm sure that they will try to get the original characters in there somehow, but I don't think it's going to follow the original characters.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a reboot.
All right. Just like a straight reboot, not like a prequel or anything.
Kristen Bell Kristen Bell is the J. Jonah Jameson of Gossip Girl, right?
I have no idea.
You can't recast that.
I don't know.
Hold on, I got to start working on the Photoshop for the show thing. Did you ever watch Gossip Girl?
No, I can't say I ever really did. You watched it a little bit though, didn't you?
Did.
Yeah.
I had to watch like 2.5 seasons of it.
That's crazy. Did you like it then? You must have.
No.
No?
No. I kept wanting to like it.
Oh.
The thing is that I always get a little antsy or weird about teenagers effing shows.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, teenagers do. Depending on how you look at it, you either have a positive, or negative sort of approach to that. And,
right.
And then this is specifically about, I don't know. I thought that they could have really leaned into them being bad people. Or just like amoral, just people like a dynasty for teens.
Sure.
Which is what I think some of these new shows, like, I've never seen Skins, but I think it's supposed to be kind of like that, or Euphoria is on HBO now.
Right.
But it's on network TV, and so not only is the content pulled back, but also I think the general pitch of what you're expecting is pulled back. So every week it has to be like, you know what, family is important. Let's have some milkshakes.
Right.
Mine's got jizz in it. Like, it's... It just, I felt like it was caught between two things, but then it kept trying to, especially in the later seasons, they tried to like amp it up and like go like, oh boy, you Papa
really
Boner
went too
watching
far.
this show.
Oh,
it's like, these kids are in high school though.
Yeah,
I think I broke off when one of the characters had and I guess they did this on Dawson's Creek, but one of the characters like had a thing for like his teacher, and she was like a TA. She was like 3 years older than he was.
Okay.
But they went through all this thing about how it was like inappropriate, and it seems like we found like a sort of place of equilibrium, and then it's got to be a twist. So in the last 30 seconds, like they bang.
Of
And
course.
It's like, well, this isn't even good storytelling.
Right. Huh. Well, now that it's going to be on HBO Max, do you think it'll be like... Obviously, they're not going to hold back.
Well, I don't think it's HBO Max. It's just their sort of streaming a la carte service. I don't think that it's necessarily going to try to shoot for the HBO Moon. But anything with the title HBO that's not Sesame Street is going to be pushing boundaries. And
yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're definitely going to... It's gross. I don't know why we fetishize like these teenagers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Leave it to the Japanese, man.
Oh man, don't do that either.
Oh boy. Let's take one more little lap here around the pre-SDCC news.
Okay.
Looks like Javier Bardem is in talks to play King Triton in Disney's Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I heard about that. Okay.
Wait a minute, how does that work?
Well,
if she's a little black mermaid, then he's...
Obviously, it's colorblind casting.
Yeah, right.
So
it's
who cares?
It's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy.
Maybe mom was black. I don't know. Mom's not around, so...
What if they just gave her a mom? That would not affect the story at all. You could just create a character. Yeah. Just give her a mom.
I know, right?
Go for it.
Well, how many Disney movies is like one parent
Maybe
absent?
the mom died when she gave birth to like 47 different Ariel-looking mermaid ladies.
She has a lot of sisters.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I think she's the youngest.
What are their stories?
Yeah, right.
I'm sure they did that in an OVA. They don't call them OVAs in the West. But
I know what you're talking about.
AP Bio has been revived. AP Bio is that sort of community-esque sitcom, which I think we'd probably like if we...
Gave it a shot.
But I ain't getting burned again.
Yeah.
And it stars Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny. It had ran for, I think, 2 seasons before it was axed by NBC, but now it's being moved to NBC Universal's streaming service, which that's going to be the end to a lot of these stories going forward here.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of shows being moved to streaming services.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll check it out. I got some bad news. I hate to downshift into bad news like this. Probably should have brought it up before. But there was a fire at Kyoto Animation Studio in Kyoto, Japan. It was an arson. We know for a fact it was arson. They caught a guy that did it. Mm-hmm. And it claimed the lives of 33 people and injured many, many more. Yeah,
it's really upsetting. I think the story goes, I think he used to work there or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that. He was disgruntled somehow, though.
Well, he was undergoing treatment for mental illness, and he had been in prison before that.
Well, this is just, this is really unfortunate. And, when you just hope that when somebody is getting treatment for mental illness, that it's helping them and it's, that they don't do something extreme like this. Yeah,
it's a studio called Kyoto Animation, or KyoAni for short, and they are responsible for things like Full Metal Panic and K-On! And Violet Evergarden, which is a new show that's on Netflix. Mm-hmm. I mean, not like the top. It's not like Studio Ghibli, but it's not like still. Yeah. I mean, there's still sort of a presence in the industry. What I want to know is, and when you have a tragedy like this, all you can really do is just feel, have your heart go out to the families and the people involved. But how he apparently ran in and like poured gasoline or something flammable around, and then this started, and I'm like.
Did nobody see him doing this?
Right, but can you not... Where are the fire exits? Where are the... Yeah. I guess if you do it at the front door, that's a problem. But how do 33 people die in a modern building from something like this?
I mean, that's a really good question.
And it's a question that the Kyoto Fire Marshal Office is going to have to answer. But, right. Yeah, it's an unbelievable tragedy, and our hearts go out to the families involved, and hopefully the studio can rebuild from this and keep producing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just terrifying. You hate to hear news like this.
Yeah. Well, here's somebody who never stops producing.
Oh boy.
Tasteless, tacky. Martians, Avils of Shield. Martians are able to peel. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, there we go.
Will finally end after its 7th season. On ABC.
Good. I think we stopped watching somewhere in season 2.
Somewhere, a bored dog bends down to continue chewing on his bone.
Yeah.
Who is watching this.
I know. Obviously somebody is.
What's the magic number of 7? Because it's like, what is it, like 3, depending on how many episodes you have, 3.5, 4 is like where you hit syndication, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which does not even matter anymore. Because
I don't know what it does.
Yeah,
all
that's an old number. Yeah. So anyway, 7 just seems to be like, well, it's not a failure if it was 7 years.
Right.
Star Trek Voyager.
Uh-huh.
Well, apparently they decided that 7 is enough.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like you said, who's really watching this anymore?
I don't know.
And honestly, I think the coolest thing that the show did was when it was like, and I don't know if it's still doing this or not, but like when it was really still following the films, and when we found out that S.H.I.E.L.D. was bad, that happened on the show too, with Captain America: Winter Soldier. So I think that worked really well. As far as like moving past that, I'm not really sure how closely they've tied in with the films, or really how many people have been tuning in, because it seems, I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking because that's where our drop off was, that other people dropped off there, but I just don't hear anybody talking about this. So I just don't, I know there was a fan base there at some point. I just don't know that it's still there.
And it becomes even more superfluous once Disney Plus gets rolling with their offerings.
Yeah, exactly.
From the Marvel Universe, starring the stars from the films.
Yeah, I know.
Who are now TV stars.
Right.
I wonder how they feel about that.
I don't know how they feel about that, but I guess they're getting paid.
Money helps it.
Exactly.
Money helps it a lot.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to talk about the Farscape panel at San Diego Comic-Con? That's the official horn that starts the boat regatta of our SDCC news.
Okay. Sure, why not?
So creators Rockne O'Bannon and Brian Henson, yes, that Brian Henson, were on hand for a 20th anniversary panel. 1999 is the first year that Farscape was released on the then Sci-Fi instead of Sci-Fi network.
Yes.
And it's been 20 years, and it's still, people still thinking about it. A guy still talks about it on his Star Trek show all the time.
Yes. Well, it's a fantastic series. And I think they accomplished a lot with the, was it?
Oh, it definitely brought puppets to every sci-fi show.
All right.
No, it was the only sci-fi show to use puppets ever.
Was it 3 or 4 seasons? 3?
It was 4 seasons.
It was 4. So,
and a movie.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah. So, I mean,
well, a miniseries.
As far as like sci-fi goes, that's a pretty long running series because they seem to cut it off like pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was really the beginning. It was one of their first really success. I mean, The Invisible Man. What else?
I don't know.
Crap. I'm losing my sci-fi credibility. They had a ton of series that went nowhere.
Yeah.
Time Tracks? No, that was on like syndication. Anyway, they had a bunch of series that went nowhere. This one went 4 years.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, I think we got this down. I think people will accept long-running series from us. So cancel Farscape and then greenlight this Ronald D. Moore show that we own.
Right.
So we're paying ourselves for it.
Right, exactly.
Never forgive them. I'll never forgive them. But maybe I won't have to.
Oh, yeah?
Because Brian and Rockne have said that they are exploring options to continue the story of Farscape.
Which I'm really excited about. But
Which they've been talking about for 20 years.
Yeah. So do you...
Since they burned the sets from the first show, they've been talking about this.
So do you bring all of the characters back and just do it 20 years later?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we can speculate. We can do a Farscape show in the future. We got to stay focused on the news here. But I think the point is that if, like I said, they've been talking about this forever, but it could really happen now. I mean, think about it. Just in the realm of the world of Brian Henson, there's a Dark Crystal show coming up.
This is true.
So literally anything can be brought back from the dead.
Yeah.
So I think that this will definitely happen. Now, where? I don't know.
Right. Will it be on Sci-Fi?
I bet Sci-Fi is the last phone call they'll take. Yeah. But it would be ironic if it did end up on Sci-Fi.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see it being on other streaming services. I was thinking Amazon because
I don't want to give Amazon any more reason for me to continue to use them because, geez, Amazon, come on.
I know.
Amazon's really effed a lot of things up for me personally in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know.
That means that I gotta watch The Expanse.
I know.
Can I get it on iTunes?
I don't know if
We'll talk about it when we get the trailers.
Okay.
Later on. What else is going on? I want to save the Marvel news, so we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about the fact that there will be a V movie directed by Kenneth Johnson and written by Kenneth Johnson. Remember V?
Like V for Vendetta? V?
No.
No.
Not V for Vendetta.
I don't know. Then
V. It was a TV movie and then a mini-series in the 80s. It's about the visitors, beneficial aliens who come to Earth to uplift us. And then we find out they're not what we think.
Okay.
And then it was recently rebooted in the late aughts, or noughties as the kids say, featuring Marina Baccarin as one of the lead stars.
Okay,
Laura Vandervoort, who you met last weekend, I think was in it too.
Okay.
And was not successful.
Right.
On NBC. And so they're going to do it again. It's going to be a movie this time, though.
Okay. I mean, I guess when you redo something, it's best to take something that wasn't successful the first time and then try to make it successful. But I guess that's about all I have to say about it.
Yeah. Apparently, many of the original TV cast will be joining.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Like the original from the 80s?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I think it has yet to be, this is sort of nascent at this point. I think it has yet to be revealed whether it will be a continuation of the story from the 80s, which, I mean, I'd watch, but it would be a real dicey proposition.
Sure.
Or if it'll just be a reboot with homage-y sort of casting stuff.
And like,
I don't think who was in the original one, and I can't remember.
Huh.
The lady with the real feathered hair. I remember that part. Everybody was real feathery back then.
Yes. Yeah. It's hard to pick them out in a lineup, like who has the most feathery hair, but yeah
for sure. If you want Star Trek news, and there is a ton of it, listen to our upcoming episode of Enterprising Individuals at enterprisingindividuals.com, on Facebook, Twitter, all those places you should know by now. We won't talk much about it here, but suffice it to say that there was a trailer for the new Picard series.
Yes.
And it's big time.
It's looking pretty exciting, if you ask me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good.
Uh-huh.
If the only thing that I can crab on this show, I got to be nice on the other show, I guess, is that this is it now. Like, I think a lot of people observed, either positively or negatively, that the new CBS All Access new Umlaut Trek shows are good. They look great, but it's that J.J. Abrams Kelvin Trek visual aesthetic, whether you like it or not, is here to stay, and that is confirmed. #confirmed by looking at the new Picard show. I mean, I didn't expect it to be like flat lighting and the ship looks like the lobby of a Hilton or something like that. But this sort of cinematic, sleek. Maybe some lens flares thrown in. Like we're stuck with this now forever.
Yeah, I think we are. And maybe that's a little disappointing because you kind of want your Star Trek a little.
Well, it
grittier.
became so emblematic of the slick and like anti-cerebral tone of the new Star Trek movies, which, if you listen to our Enterprising Individuals live episode recorded at Convergence this year, I've come to terms with. It's okay.
Yeah.
But one of the arguments was that, it's a show about, a guy drinking tea and having moral debates.
Right.
And then suddenly it's like, my hands are huge. I can't see a thing.
Right.
And that sort of that visual redesign became the sort of sticking point, I think, for a lot of people. So to continue to see it go on in a show, in a series that has been very thoughtful. Discovery has been very introspective in the Grand Trek tradition. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be like if there's a guy who was like a real jerk in high school. Man, you hate that guy, and you meet him 10 years later, and he's really gone through it. He's learned about himself.
Right.
He's different.
Yeah,
you still see that face, and you're like, oh no, he's nice now.
Yeah, but
you keep reminding
yourself that gut reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've come to terms with the sleekness.
Let's get a hot take. Come on.
It's fine. I mean, I guess I don't expect them to go back to how it was like in the 90s with like the end of TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, I don't expect it to be like muted or anything like that. So,
muted?
like muted colors,
90s is muted.
Well, it's not as bright.
It's earthier.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Did not come prepared with something to say about Star Trek. That's okay. I know you have things to say about some other things, like specifically the Doom Patrol being renewed for season 2. It will also be on both DC Universe and HBO Max. So is this the beginning of the end for DC Universe?
Yeah. Why have it on
Are we abandoning ship already?
I don't know. This is weird. I mean, I haven't watched any of it.
I was just joking.
But
I don't have anything to say about it.
But it doesn't. It kind of bothers me, like the character design. Like, I don't know that they totally, like, some of them I think they did a good job of, and others I don't think they did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd have to take a look at it and see, and actually like try to watch it in order to have a opinion about it.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about something else.
This is going really well.
Of course, the Eisner Awards are announced every year at SDCC. They are, I mean, depending on who you talk to, one of, if not the most prestigious award in the comics industry. They should rename them the Tom King Awards.
Why is that?
Because that guy won every one of them.
Oh, okay.
Every single one.
Okay.
Are we sick of this going on?
I don't know.
As long as he keeps writing pretty good stories, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not like Brian Michael Bendis is winning a lot of these things. But, yeah, he won a ton of them.
Okay.
He won Best Short Story for Talk of the Saints from the Swamp Thing Winter Special. He didn't win Best Single Issue One Shot. That was Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, written by Chip Zdarsky, who's another guy who's really coming up. Giant Days won Best Continuing Series. That one's been going on for a little while
I've
now.
heard
the
good
Boombox.
things about that. I need to check that one out.
If you can handle comic books that were originated by Brian K. Vaughan but then taken over by somebody else, I guess you should go for it.
I feel like I can handle that if it was taken over by somebody else. So,
wasn't it created by him?
I am not sure.
No, it was not.
Oh, it's not.
I'm thinking of Paper
Oh,
Girls or whatever.
Yeah, what is that one
Yeah.
called?
Well, they both feature
Young girls, a group of young girls.
in Technicolor, sort of,
Yes.
which I know is just like the style now for a lot of coloring
Right.
in comics. But yeah, anyway. Best Limited Series, I think they won it last year for the first half, but anyway, they won it again. Tom King and Mitch Gerads for Mr. Miracle.
You love Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle's really good.
We tried.
Yeah.
We really tried.
Uh-huh.
We got in on the ground floor
Yeah.
with that Mitch Gerads guy.
Well, yeah.
And he slipped out of our fingers.
Okay. We did get an interview with him at one point.
We did, but it was way past. He was already a superstar, and now
Okay.
he is the multi-Eisner Award winning. And every year, we did this last year for our SDCC show.
Yeah.
Every year we bring him up, and I lament that he lived 2 blocks away from us
I know.
in unspecified town, which people already know where we live, but whatever. And he is super nice, but he went from like 4 likes on a tweet to like 20,000 likes on a tweet.
I know.
And we were, I don't know. I don't even know what we would have got out of it.
But
when
we
you
were
see-
we were so close proximity wise.
Yes. What's the job where you are satisfied to see people, I guess if you have a hand in it, like a good record producer, Butch Vig.
Sure.
People in the industry know who Butch Vig is.
Absolutely.
But he doesn't necessarily, well, I mean, he literally started a band that he was in for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
But it's not like he goes around and tells everybody how great he is. He just like makes superstars, cashes his checks, and he moves on.
Right.
Well, anyway, I didn't have any hand in Mitch Gerads becoming a superstar, which he richly deserves because he is a fantastically talented artist. But
Yes.
it's just like seeing a guy go, that guy's going to be something someday. And then a couple years later, he is
something.
And I just
Yeah.
want some effing credit for it.
I know. I know.
I didn't predict the rise of Jeff Lemire, but somebody did. He won Best New Series for Gideon Falls, his work with Andrea Sorrentino at Image.
Okay.
A couple other things that are just coming down here. I'm trying to think of things that you would know. Tom King also got Best Writer Overall
Okay.
for Batman, Mr. Miracle, Heroes in Crisis, and the aforementioned Swamp Thing Winter Special. He was up against Jeff Lemire,
3
the aforementioned
things
Jeff.
he won for?
They're just considering I don't know, like if you have a limit to how many you can
Right.
submit for Best Writer, but like it celebrates the body of work for this year.
Oh,
and so
okay.
Jeff Lemire, like I mentioned,
see.
was up. Tom King, Alex DeCampi doing Bad Girls and Twisted Romance at Image, and Mark Russell, who has done a couple different things, most specifically the Lex Luthor Porky Pig crossover at DC.
What?
He also beat out Kelly Thompson and Chip Zdarsky.
Okay. All right. So a lot of people. He won a lot of awards, like you said.
Weird that... Oh, I see. Okay. I was just going to say, I was looking for Mitch Gerads for Best Penciler, and I saw Best Writer Artist. But he's not. He doesn't write.
Okay.
Jen Wang got Best Writer Artist for Princess and the Dressmaker. But when you look at Best Penciler, Mitch Gerads, Mr. Miracle. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go.
It was close.
I know.
We had him.
I know. Yeah. Well, had him. He slipped through our fingers.
Are there only? I feel like we've spoken to every nominated colorist here on this list. Jody Belair, Tamara Bonvillain, Nathan Fairburn, Matt Hollingsworth, and Matt Wilson were all nominated. Matt Wilson won for his work on the aforementioned Paper Girls and also The Wicked and the Divine. We had that hot run at Emerald City where I think we talked to every colorist in the business. There's only 5 colorists in the business.
Yeah. We talked to a lot of them. We definitely did.
We had we're all talking about colorists that year.
Mm-hmm.
And
so hot right now.
Some other standouts. Dustin Wynn won Best Painter or Multimedia for his work on Descender.
Okay.
And here's an interesting thing. I have not read this, but I guess I'm going to check it out. They have an award for Best Academic or Scholarly Work.
Huh.
This is for things like The Goat Getters, Jack Johnson, The Fight of the Century, and how a bunch of raucous cartoonists reinvented comics by Eddie Campbell. That sounds like interesting, and it sounds like a shoo-in, but it didn't win. The winner was Sweet Little C-Word, and it's not C-Word, the graphic work of Julie Doucet by Anne Elizabeth Moore.
Huh. So it's kind of like academic takes on comics.
Yes.
So historical kind of for contemporary stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that sounds kind of interesting.
You've got it figured out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wonder how they called that out from the stage, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Here's some things that were called out.
Yeah.
The amazing trailers that, of course, came out at the various panels and things at Comic-Con, and I thought that we would talk about a little bit.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about the Dora the Explorer trailer? We don't have to.
I kind of want to, just because like you showed it to me and it's not terrible. Like it actually looks kind of entertaining.
I hate it.
You hate it?
Yep.
Why do you hate it?
Because I guess I don't know how you'd do it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you don't have a G-rated anything, but
right.
To me it's cowardly. It's like we
really?
don't if the premise that you got you don't think can be a film, then don't make that film.
Well, that's true.
Instead, you can make Jumanji did, okay? Let's make a generalized jungle action movie with fart jokes and some jokes for the adults, and it could be called Blora the Bablorer. It could be anything, but you call it Dora the Explorer. How is that Dora the Explorer?
Well, and
then you would go, well, what's she going to do? Talk to the screen and go, very good? And I go, well, that's what you decided to make a movie out of, but you don't have any faith in your premise, and so you have to tear down and make fun of the thing that your original premise is in order to make a generalized Jumanji 1.5.
Well, I guess my problem with it is, like, as far as I can tell, like, the TV show, the series, the books, or whatever, like, she's like a preschooler, right? Or in kindergarten at the
but
most.
they aged her up.
Yeah, like she's in high school in this.
No, but they did a high school or junior high Dora because her fans were getting older too.
Okay, so. All right. Okay, well I guess that's not so bad then. I don't know.
It'd be like
it looks better than I was expecting it to.
Okay.
I don't know if that says enough or not.
I think it looks like crap.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. Good talk.
Yes.
What else are we going to talk about? How about the Westworld Season 3 trailer? Seeing a lot more of Westworld.
Yes.
Westworld.
Yeah. So a lot of do we even call them robots at this point? Do we call them AIs? Like, I just don't even know.
For simplicity's sake, you can call them robots, but I think the entire point of the show is
that they're more than just robots. Yeah. I think it's interesting. Obviously, some of the robots have left, like Dolores, and what is Tessa Thompson's character even called? I don't even know.
Charlotte. Something blah blah.
Okay. So they're kind of, I guess they're worried that people from Westworld are going to find them and try to kill them.
LeBon? No, Charlotte LeBon is an actress. That's the daughter of Simon LeBon.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to shut up.
Oh, okay.
So you're just explaining it. What's your, here's an example of a feeling. I think that we're in trouble. I was excited about, to me, it almost seems like they're definitely repiloting.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Paul as a guy who is reluctantly involved in crime in the future is a movie. Robots or no, that's a movie right there.
Right.
You take one half Need for Speed, one half Jesse Pinkman, and I'd watch that.
Yes.
If you want to weave in your Westworld robots, even better. But looking at the trailer, it seems like they're going to do the thing where, remember my biggest complaint with Westworld was they just couldn't commit to their premise?
Yes.
They were too addicted to like showing like future technology, which is cool, but the whole point is it's supposed to be a cowboy theme park.
Yes.
But they keep bopping out to show us robots and like really thin iPads. And so this looks like, I know I wanted Westworld, but this just looks like a lot of world, not a lot of West. And so it's all robots and stuff. And then like the most uncreative thing that you can do is do World War II world. Now, I know that if you're a theme park and you're creating something that people are going to go to, you have to sometimes appeal to the lowest common denominator.
Right.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is both a great idea and something everybody will go to. Mm-hmm. Everybody will go to Band of Brothers world, so I guess you make it. But as a TV choice, as a choice for where you're going to send the story, the Raj world was very interesting to me. This is just... Of course, it's World War II. It's Saving Private Ryan world. And it's like, great, now we have to look at a bunch of swastikas on an HBO show again. And it just seems like very uncreative to me. Although Tandy Newton looks great in the 40s hair.
Yeah, she does. She looks fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. It feels kind of like graspy, like we're just trying to... I don't know, like, couldn't they have come up with something more creative if, like, for another world? I feel like, I mean, I would have watched more of the Japanese world, too.
Also uncreative.
You think so?
As a function, I guess if I have all these qualifiers, then my points don't have any weight. But as a extension and function of we have a park that presents an attractive historical setting that also allows the player to fulfill the role of a protagonist in a world that would allow him to do stuff. Mm-hmm. You're a cowboy. Mister, you got to help us. Mm-hmm. Bandits are taking my paws, cattle or whatever.
Right.
Or... semi-racist fake Japanese doing the same thing. Bandits have stolen our cows or whatever, and then you go out. There's a history of the Western, the Jedi Geki, the lone hero who's going to face down just faceless bad guys.
True,
it works. And in the one kind of smart thing they did, other than Cash Rules Everything Around Me, the Shamazan remix, was showing that when they got to that world, they're like, it's the same storylines.
Yes.
And there's literally the same characters.
Yeah.
Except they didn't have anything to say about that because you've got characters from Westworld who are already questioning their individuality and who they are. They learn that there are literally Asian characters who are them.
Yes.
And it doesn't do anything to the story. It doesn't do anything to their resolve or anything like that. They just go, you like me. See you later.
They don't have an identity crisis.
Right.
They don't. Which would have been way more interesting.
So anyway, it's Call of Duty World, I guess. It's going to be a World War II squad-based thing. We have to bring some friends with you. I don't know why is Tandy Newton there? We'll find out.
Okay.
Well, how come there's only one shot of Ed Harris?
Yeah, I want to know that too. Like, are we phasing him out?
Well, if he's the meta plot, or has been the meta plot up to this point, does that mean that we are going to de-emphasize the meta plot, or is the meta plot more integrated with the main plot now? I think that's the answer, and so we don't necessarily need him anymore. But all I know is, after seeing him in Knight Riders, I want to see him all the time, forever. We got to talk about Knight Riders at some point on the show.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
Today. Not today.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, he's just a fantastic actor, and I love that role, so I want to see more from him.
We need more yelling.
Yeah, right. But I mean, what would he be doing? Would he be going after the rogue robots, or like he's like, oh, I gotta collect them?
Is he even alive anymore?
That is a good question that I don't actually know the answer
Are any
to.
of them?
Right? Exactly.
The robots are the real. No, it's the Cylons. Battlestar Galactica already did that. Hey.
Yes.
Do you have a memory of... Boy.
A memory of what?
That's sad. Mr. Mistopheles wants to...
Oh, boy.
I don't...
I understand.
I'm just realizing how little I know
Yeah.
about cats.
Yeah.
Of which Tom Hooper's
okay.
film adaptations trailer has dropped. And everybody is scared.
Yeah. We talk about Uncanny Valley, like with Sonic the Hedgehog. There's just... I don't know what they did.
Kitty meow meowly.
Uncanny Valley. I don't know.
All right. You win this one.
All right. And I think you and I talked about this off the air. Like they
Talk about it on the air.
basically like took what their costumes and their makeup would have looked like for a stage production, and they did some digital touch-ups on it or what have you, or
That's not what we talked about.
Oh, I thought we did talk about that.
Well, if you're trying to make the point that I was making, the point is there's something about, clearly this is successful. It's gone for 35 years or whatever on Broadway. There's something about going to a place and it's kind of become its own thing. I feel like if you can do a Kimmy Schmidt story about it, then it's dead.
Yeah, right.
But people are cool with seeing some actors and actresses in leotards with, and they use condoms on the mics. That's how you keep the mic from getting the glue or makeup or hair in it.
Weird.
They would use, I read that somewhere a long time ago. But anyway, I guess non-lubricated condoms.
I guess so.
Why not just cut the tips off of rubber gloves?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Anyway, there's something about just coming to and sitting down in an auditorium and seeing living people in front of you do that. But then you take it and you have all the digital wizardry in the world, and now we're just going to watch grown human beings run around on all fours with like digital it's not de-aging, but just like with digital makeup and costuming. Like I doubt Ian McKellen had a single drop of spirit gum applied to him. Like it's all computer stuff, and it just seems like, what's going on? Why
it looks really bad? And
what if you just did a Lion King and had them be real cats, and then Idris Elba or Taylor Swift or whoever
would do the voice?
Right?
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's just a weird combination, and I just whenever you talk about a film and you're just not like you're unsure of why the filmmakers made this choice, you feel like there are so many people who worked on this and nobody was like, what are we doing?
There are a lot of things like that.
Yeah, I know.
And this Tom Hooper he's the musical assassin. It's just his job to like make these bad musical
what else has
movies.
He
he
done?
Did the Les Mis one, and he did so I don't know. If you had like a PBS rendition, if you took Andrew Lloyd Webber and put him in a black site prison, if you had like a PBS version of this where they got special permission to do a televised version of Cats, and you put it on. It could be before a live audience, but you put it on like 3/4 sets, so you've got like a scene where a cat is running around and he's jumping up and down on a bed and stuff like that. And like you can kind of see the screws and, in the sets, and it didn't look that great. You wouldn't go, we need to get $100 million and do this the right way. You'd just go, that's PBS.
Right.
This just looks like super high budget PBS to me.
Yeah, I can see that. And like things are like they wanted to make it look like the cats were actually small, so like they have them on like this oversized table and chairs and on a bed.
That's what I'm saying. Like you'd have a full size bed for this fake PBS thing I'm imagining, but it's like no, now we can like create a giant bed.
Yes,
we can digitally make the people look smaller because they're little cats.
Yeah.
I don't think that's important. I don't care.
No,
can Jason Derulo act?
Yeah,
that's what I need to know.
Right.
We're absolutely going to see this.
Oh, God.
We're totally going to see
I'm
this.
terrified.
Aren't we?
I am so freaking terrified about it.
I mean,
it gives
as
me
Taylor
nightmares.
stands alone, we got to go see it.
I guess. Jeez. Wow.
What else is going on? Hey, are you a misogynist?
I don't think so.
Oh, so then you wouldn't have the F scared out of you by the extra footage we've seen for Terminator Dark Fate.
No, I wouldn't. I would not.
Oh, so you weren't scared.
I feel like we've mentioned this last time too.
We have mentioned it.
Yeah.
What are you, Chekhov?
No, sorry.
Did I mention, can I do this?
What?
About how I don't want to give any food to people who make specious arguments, but you know, they have that scene in Star Trek 2009 where Chekhov is struggling with the computer, which, by the way, can understand probably 600 languages from the different races that are in Starfleet. Mm-hmm. But he's like, you know, activate vessel. And the computer's like, I don't understand what you're saying. He's like,
right.
Activate vessel. It's like, okay, fine. That's all funny and fine. But if like Sulu was like, fire razors, and the computer didn't understand it, you'd flip out.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely.
I got to stand up for the Lithuanians here.
Yeah, right.
Actually, Anton Yelchin's from St. Petersburg.
But, yeah.
but Walter Koenig is from Lithuania. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I feel like that's
you don't have to respond to
a
that.
double-edged sword.
I appreciate you taking me. You don't have to respond. Sure. You can just tell me to shut up and talk about Dark Fate.
I still don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I guess it looks better than some of the other films that we've seen that are Terminator films, but again, I'm just not entirely sure why this needed to be made.
I don't want to be on the record standing up for James Cameron.
Okay.
Because he's a dinosaur.
Questionable.
You know?
Yeah. He
wanted to be this, you know, big blockbuster action movie guy.
And I think he accomplished that in many
ways. He was like the
ways.
last one because now everybody wants to be James Cameron. Like he was trying to do, and you get this a lot in film, like he was trying to do something that the previous generation had been doing. Mm-hmm. He wanted these like, you know, kind of Irwin Allen scale, you know, giant movies. He perfected the art and now he's still trying to do him, you know, but like everybody else is kind of doing him. And so I trust him more than I trust Tim Miller because Tim Miller is just also ran a copy of a copy of a copy of that sort of thing. Like I don't trust anybody who grew up loving Terminator to make a Terminator. James Cameron was just making something, you know, he literally woke up from a deep sleep, a nightmare, and had a nightmare about a robot in fire and made the Terminator. And he's a guy who was driven by his own ego, but also his own original ideas. And Tim Miller's just a guy that like, I love action movies, and it's and I don't think he has a lot of original ideas. Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna take another spin on the Terminator wheel, and just this time it's a girl, and there's just no life left in this franchise unless we either A, cross it over with RoboCop, or B, just start from scratch or something.
Right.
That's why, you know, I made a joke last week about Salvation being my favorite, but at least they were like, look, there's nothing to be mined in the time travel part.
Right.
Let's tell the story of what's going on in the future.
Mm-hmm. I guess one thing I want to mention, I guess since we're talking about Terminator, is the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh, please don't go breaking my heart.
I thought it was fantastic, you know?
Yeah.
And
I thought you were going to announce, it's coming back, baby.
Oh, I would love if it came back.
Lena's free.
Yeah.
We're going to do this.
Right. That's another show I think that was, and we've talked about this before, like, canceled before its time. Like, I think they really could have gone forward with it.
It didn't know where it was going, though.
No,
it had
that's
problems.
True. It did have problems.
Riley.
Yeah. Oh, Riley. What was it we saw recently? True Detective. That's it. Yeah.
Gotta watch the third season.
Yeah, we do.
Next week.
Talking
third season.
Right?
Trek. Oh, that's right. We got Trek next week.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see what we're talking about next week.
Okay.
I just have to do this on the air. I was fascinated to hear that Eddie Furlong's going to be in it.
Yes.
Which I'm not sure. I think that's been confirmed.
That's kind of crazy to me. Like,
and he was thinking, easy money.
Yeah.
But I also think that he is in it, and this is going to be sad, but he's in it just to kill him off.
Which is really sad.
Because whatever the timeline is now, if Sarah Connor's alive, that means that Terminator 3 didn't happen, right?
Right.
Because she died of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on some new path. She got the the X-ray screening like she did in Sarah Connor. Ooh, maybe it's a continuation of Sarah Connor Chronicles.
That'd be cool.
So that means that like annoying Kyle Decker, Eddie Furlong will. I think John Connor is going to die like first scene.
Okay.
It's going to be real sad for Sarah Connor, and then she'll have a
find
break.
The strength to go on.
She'll have a break with. No, Arnie's dead though. He went in the steel.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
Anyway,
I know.
But yeah, so he'll be dead, and she'll be now defending the future actively by protecting this girl who will be the new Jane Connor. Is the new leader of the resistance.
Sure.
And and they'll probably talk about how time is. It's like Doctor Who. Time is elastic. It can bend, but some things have to be the way they are.
Right. There's 6 points in time.
Although, why does she have to do anything then if it's deterministic? But so we know that there will, even though John dies, someone will take his place. But we need to defend that person to make sure that it does happen. And we still, because this is what we always forget. And it's partially Cameron's fault for Terminator 2. But the whole point is this is going to happen no matter what. You can't stop this.
Right.
The only way that we can, like global warming, it's too late to stop it.
Yeah.
We need to start thinking about how we're going to survive while it happens.
Right.
So get your boats, get your moisture evaporators, or whatever the new technology we're going to make is. There's no way to stop this. We just need to stockpile seeds and people who know how to make power plants and stuff like that once we defeat the robots.
Right.
And also the misogynists. They're going to be really scared. We need to get them some counseling. Tell them it's okay to be a misogynist. Speaking of misogynists, no, there's no translation.
Okay.
What about the extended look at His Dark Materials that we got? HDM.
What does HDM mean?
His Dark Materials.
Oh, His Dark Materials. Duh. Wow. I think it looks really good. I think I can't think of the young actress's name now, but she
Daphne Keane.
Yes. I think she is a really great actress, and so I'm excited to see her in this new role. And I think it looks like it was, for the most part, really well cast. Like we've said before, I'm not really sure about the Lin-Manuel Miranda casting, but
Lin-Manuel Miranda is a badass.
Yeah.
His greatest challenge.
Yeah, but
never mind a Puerto Rican guy playing a born in England dignitary and statesman of early America, but now he's got to play a cowboy badass.
I know.
And Sam Elliott's just going to sit at home going, "Yep."
I know. So I'm not exactly sure about that, but it looks like really dark. And how
material do
I know.
I have to say, you made me say.
But it looks really entertaining, and it looks like they put a good story together. So I'm excited
Have you read
about
the
it.
story?
I have
time to read it.
It is time to read it.
All I care is whether the story is good and true to it or not, because
That's fair.
I do feel like a lot of the characters, except for maybe one or two exceptions in the books, are two-dimensional is the bad way to describe them. Being devices or being sort of like part of the machine of the story.
Right.
It made me be more kinder or more understanding. So that's why I don't care. I've come around a lot on McAvoy, but it's not my favorite. I've kind of had an ass full of like Ruth Wilson at this point, so I'm not excited about either of them being in it.
Okay.
But it doesn't really matter. And I also like the different sort of take on it. Remember, it's set in like an alternate universe, but a very recognizable one.
Right.
It's specifically set in Oxford for part of it, based on, I think, Pullman's own experiences at Oxford. And so it's hard to, I've got the 2007, 2008 like movie in my head. Mm-hmm. A little too late for that movie. 2006? It doesn't matter. Anyway, and it looks a lot like that.
Yeah, it does.
So only with that modern desaturated look that we put on everything. Uh-huh. And so I'm not sure if that's good or bad, or you just can't avoid it. Like if something's set in Candyland, you're going to see people made of Starlight Mints or whatever.
Right.
I don't know why I went there.
I don't know why you did either.
But I like that Daphne Keane is in it because she's a different kind of Lyra. Like Dakota Blue Richards was like just the cutest little cherubic girl.
Right.
And Daphne Keene's got she's scrappier. She's got a little, are they going to make Annie again? She'd be a good Annie, I think.
Yeah.
Give her a perm.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, of course, just playing off of that, you've got Nicole Kidman as the, beautiful, willowy, ethereal Mrs. What's-Her-Name.
Yes.
And then you've got Ruth Wilson, who's a little more earthy, too. So
right.
It's like you swapped all the humans out, but like kept the background. And I don't know where I'm going with any of this. But
no, I can see
like
what
I
you're
said,
saying.
all I care is that the story's good. I actually don't think that Eorik, the King of the Bears, looks as good as he did in the film.
Oh, really?
I think it looks all right.
Okay.
But I did like the design in the film.
Okay.
And of course, the film had Ava Green.
Oh, well,
Our
there you go.
Our mistress and lady Ava Green.
I guess I'm going to have to start reading.
Shirt on this time.
And then, shirt
on.
Yes.
She's like, should I do that? No, it's PG. It's PG.
I guess I need to read the books and watch the movie.
You do.
Okay.
And it looks like, speaking of Ava Green, who's, the whatever they're called, witches, I don't think we see any witches, did we? So I think they're only doing like the first half of the book for the first season. So
okay.
I believe they're already greenlit for a second season. So we're going to get the whole first book, I think.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yes.
I had a lot to say about that.
Yeah, I did.
Well, I won't have anything to say about the next Ed Harris movie that we're talking about. Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years.
Yes.
And Maverick is still doing what he did 30 years ago,
Yep.
which in anybody's book, he's a failure.
Yes.
Why are we celebrating this character?
I don't know.
Who clearly is a failure. He's been in the Air Force or the Navy. That's he's a naval aviator for 30 years, and he's still a captain.
I know. They even have a line about it.
Well, yeah, because
trailer.
you have to. Because any military person, and many of them are going to see this movie, they're going to be like, this loser is still, why isn't he a civilian contractor or something like that? He's still flying Navy jets, which, by the way, and I think the movie is going to be about this, are more and more obsolete as it's just called a smart bomb now.
Yeah.
Or it's called a drone.
Right.
Like he's too old to learn to work a joystick in a strip mall in Modesto, California.
Right.
So he can't fly drones. Why is he doing this?
I know. I mean, that's what it's...
I got my cool leather jacket and my motorcycle.
I know.
This is called Arrested Development.
I agree.
And I don't mean the funny Mitch Hurwitz show.
Yeah, I know.
Our hero.
It is kind of sad and pathetic. And then we don't really, from the trailer, it doesn't necessarily give you a clear picture as to what the film is going to be about. But you called it. You were like,
well, before we even looked up a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think we actually know. They haven't released a synopsis, at least, of this recording. But yeah, like, my thing was like, so what's it going to be? Like, Ed Harris is yelling at him because he's still doing it. And then he also says, like, you're going to be obsolete soon. And Tom Cruise, it's just, speaking of being obsolete, has played the same character for his entire career.
Yeah.
And somebody asks him something, where do you get off? And he's like, where do I get off? I get off at the top. He always answers it with he repeats the question, or he just says something like, we'll see, sir, or whatever.
Right.
And so I thought, like, so what is it? He's going to be white John Henry, right? Like, John Henry wanted to prove that a man with a hammer could beat a steam engine, the newfangled thing. So what's the newfangled thing? Like drones, like automated like drone pilots. Mm-hmm. But they already did that in 2005's Stealth, starring Jessica Biel and Josh Lucas and pre-famed Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And then I looked up a plot summary, and it's like, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be human pilots versus robot pilots. And it's like, ah!
You called it. You totally called it.
Good for Kenny Loggins, though. I feel good for him. Definitely get a paycheck off of this. You always want to be able to just go, oh, that's what the movie is.
Yeah, I know. That's how you know it's going to be a great film.
And Jennifer Connelly's in it. Because Kelly McGillis is, I don't know if she acts anymore.
Okay.
And she is, there's nothing wrong with this, but she's a lesbian. So,
right.
What are you going to say, that Charlie has a girlfriend now?
Right.
They should try to get Charlie in this.
Yeah, probably.
Goose's kid is going to be in it.
Okay.
If Maverick was any kind of mentor, he would have told Goose's kid to, don't do this.
Right.
You don't want to be like me.
Right, exactly.
Inherit my motorcycle.
Right.
I give the leather jacket to you, little man. So can't wait for that.
Yeah.
We saw already that they do play volleyball. It's going to be the same. It's the same movie.
It's going to be the same.
There's going to be some Righteous Brothers.
Yeah. I mean, do we really need this? Like,
No,
it's just
no.
a remake of the
And
same
Tom Cruise
film?
doesn't need this.
No.
He's like, once
Just do another Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise.
well, that's on the calendar.
Okay.
Once his ankle healed, he went to his little calendar and he was like, cross, Mummy 2, 3. And he's like, well, I got some time. Top Gun 2.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, speaking of military-esque fiction, this is going to work.
Yeah.
With sci-fi flavor going forward, The Expanse
Yes.
had not a full trailer, but a sizzle reel, I think you'd probably say,
Yeah.
of their upcoming season 4, which is coming up sooner than you'd think.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes, late 2019.
Yeah. I just, for some reason, I got it in my head. I mean, we just had a new season last year, and then it was like in question of whether or not it was going to get renewed, and then
Fast,
Amazon
cheap,
picked it
good
up. Yeah.
are the three triangles, points on the triangle.
Yeah, I know.
And cheap was eliminated. Now there's just 2
Fast and good.
axes because Amazon, I think, threw all the
A lot
money
of
that
money
you
in
need
it.
at this to make
Yeah.
it work.
So that's great. I'm really excited that it's going to be at the end of this year because that means it's going to happen that much sooner. I think it looks pretty good. I think they kept the production quality up. I'm kind of unclear as to what exactly is going to be happening, but that's okay because it's a sizzle reel and it's just supposed to get you excited about it.
Well, I haven't read the books.
No.
Although I really want to.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's changing tone, and it's an exploration show now.
Sure.
It's more Star Trek now.
Yeah.
Or more Earth 2 or whatever.
Right.
I think there's, a colony where the action's going to take place. And I think that I don't know if we talked about this when we talked about season 3 of The Expanse, but you don't want to get rid of Stephen Strait. You don't want to get rid of Bobby. I can't remember the actress's name.
I know what you're talking about.
You want to keep all of our characters, but
Yes.
we could easily go 50 years into the future now.
Yeah.
Because,
we could make that
spoilers
jump.
for the end of season 3, the whole point of the show is it's set 200 years in the future where we have colonized basically the entire solar system, but because it's real physics, we are trapped essentially in our solar system. And so the world has gotten literally bigger, but it's the same world, same politics, same problems, same cultural, even new cultural conflicts, Mars versus the belt versus Earth.
Sure.
And so, an alien presence sort of changes that for us. And so what's it going to be? And the kind of timescales that a story like this operates on, because it feels like history, it feels like historical events, in the future.
Right.
It would totally make sense to just go, well, it took a while. Sure, they can go to other star systems, but it's going to take a while to do stuff. And you just fast forward another 100 years in the future.
Right.
And we're following different characters. Instead, we're going to stick with these characters. Now, I don't know if that's what the books do or not, but that's what we're doing. So you've got Stephen Strait with longer hair riding around in a dune buggy on presumably another, Earth-like planet in some other solar system.
Right. And then we get...
I hope that we don't... I hope we continue to focus on the politics, and it isn't just, oh, I found an alien. Oh, it's blue.
Right. Well, I think we will continue to focus on the politics. I can't remember her name now, but the big politician.
Arsavala?
Yeah.
Christian Arsavala?
Yeah. We do see her in the trailer. She's swearing. So she doesn't look happy.
Kind of become her thing.
But I mean, she is definitely still present. And I think we did get a little bit away from the politics a little bit in season 3. There is, a thorough thread with that, but I feel like there
was literally a coup by...
Well, yes. But
against the UN.
Okay, yeah.
Led by Aaron, what's his name?
But like we didn't get to see as much of her in season 3 as we had in season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after she was kind of like rescued, we didn't really see a whole
Bobby
lot
Draper.
of her. Yeah.
That's her name.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, just like in season 3, it's like Bobby Draper's, her whole entire thing is she is a Marine sergeant.
Yeah.
And she's a Martian, and that's all she cares about. But we got to hook her up with our band of rejects. And so in very short order, she basically like just gives up being Martian for life, and now she's like one of our rejects.
Yes.
But she's still sort of our rough and tumble like Sarge character. Why would she be an explorer? She would just see if she would either get repatriated back into the, she'd get busted down to private or whatever, but back into the Martian military.
Right.
Or I guess it's, these are all working people.
Yeah.
In a sci-fi or an adventure show, your character just goes whatever and does whatever. And I think that Battlestar Galactica suffered from this in that you would get, what's Starbuck doing today? Like,
right.
She's our best pilot, but she's also our best soldier. She's also our best, like, hostage negotiator. Lee is also a Viper pilot, but then he's like a politician, but now he's like a defense lawyer, and now he's like a religious figure. And it's just like, we can't hire anybody, so it's going to have to be the people that we hired and contracted to be on this show. But
right.
I guess Stephen Strait, who's Holden, maybe he gets some kind of contract, and the Rossi's going to take materials out to new colonies, and then, he takes his ragtag crew with him, and that's how they get involved. Like, why are they out there?
Right. Why are they involved with this at all?
Yeah.
What are they benefiting from it? And
for a epic sort of story and show that seems to focus more on the history of humanity, the future history of humanity as a whole. Mm-hmm. And yes, individuals can play a heroic or like very important role in that, but like, why are they still part of it? Like, I don't expect to see, what's her name's character again? The Reverend, what's her name? Anna,
oh yes,
Reverend Anna,
who is?
I don't say that she's not going to be on it, is she?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Like she was a big part of season 3,
right?
So, I don't know. I could see her going to like New Worlds and being kind of like
starting a church or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
an outreach.
It's a lot of Expanse talk.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of Expanse talk. So anyway, look for that. We'll definitely be watching that.
Yes.
This fall. Last one.
Okay.
The Witcher.
The Witcher.
You got witches?
Yeah.
How do you get rid of them?
With The Witcher?
It's not really what it is.
Yeah.
It kills monsters.
Not terribly excited about this.
No. This actually, as much as I don't like Henry Cavill, I mean, a lot of people are going to be on this show, right?
Yeah.
So, we saw a trailer. It's going to be on Netflix pretty soon. Oh, 2020, I think.
I think it is 2020.
Yeah. And I don't know. I didn't really play the games, although I'm familiar with their sort of visual aesthetic, just having, being a gamer and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It looks like they're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
These are not, I know that they're going to base themselves more on the books or whatever that is. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't look like they're trying to replicate the visual look of the games. And I think that's going to disappoint a lot of people. But for somebody who's not invested in those games at all, I thought this looked okay.
Yeah, I guess it kind of looks okay. It kind of looks like, if you're jonesing for a replacement for Game of Thrones, like maybe this could be it for you. I don't know. I guess it looks okay. Maybe I'll check it out. I'm not 100% sure that I will.
Well,
calm
down.
I'm just not super into Henry Cavill. But he's going to be all over this. But I might give it a shot. Like it looks interesting. It looks intriguing. I mean, it looks like a complex, fantastical world,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I might give it a shot.
And we've just seen these brief flashes, but something else I like is that I feel like they've got a handle on that aesthetic, that look for the world. Mm-hmm. A lot of these things, there was actually a Witcher TV show made, I think in Poland where the books come from.
Okay, sure.
Made in like the 90s. And it just looked like Hercules' Legendary Journeys.
Okay, sure.
Like, most of this was shot at a Ren Fair.
Right.
Right? And then we've got maybe one or two good effects. And it's all in like an open field in New Zealand somewhere. It didn't look like that. Like it looks pretty good. It looks like it's a medieval world, but not necessarily Europe in the 13th century. They've got their own thing going on, but you've got castles and you got forests and things like that. And it looks all right.
Yeah, it does look okay.
I am cautiously optimistic about it.
Okay.
Or I'm viciously optimistic. As I think you coined on an earlier show. And that's it. No, nothing else to report.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, Marvel.
There was one more thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Snowpiercer will be a show starring Jennifer Connelly.
Oh my gosh.
So look out for that in the future.
More Jennifer Connelly.
Hey, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
She looks great.
Well, she does look great, but women in their 50s.
Getting roles.
Or like mid-40s. She's pretty young, I guess. They don't get roles.
Yeah, it's true.
And so you get a couple that do, like her, like, I won't call anybody else out, but you work it.
Yeah.
You go, I'll take everything.
Right.
Because I know that phone's going to stop ringing any second now.
Right.
She's in Top Gun, too.
Of course she is.
Yeah, Marvel, I guess. Marvel had a pretty big panel this year, as we mentioned before. They trotted quite a few things out, and I wanted to say real quick first, we speculated about what the Russo thing would be.
Yeah.
Turns out nothing.
I know. I'm so disappointed.
Really which is, it's fine. I think they deserve, they took the victory lap that I think Benoit and Chris Jericho, Benioff and Weiss expected to take and were not allowed to take.
Right.
That's what this was. It was just them sort of celebrating their time with Marvel, hinting very strongly that they haven't signed anything, but they wouldn't mind coming back for some kind of event thing like a Secret Wars, which was heavily sort of implied that maybe Marvel's
really
looking
cool.
at that in the future. Nothing for sure. Also, the big thing, quote-unquote big thing, is that they announced that they are producing and may direct a Battle of the Planets movie.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Battle of the Planets is... I haven't covered that on Getting the Robot yet. Battle of the Planets is like the American version of a anime called Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. Okay. And it's like a space sort of thing. I think it's produced by the same people, don't quote me, that did Voltron. Okay. Its character designs look very similar. Okay. And for... people that are older than us, like the next half generation up, maybe like in their young 50s, this was like, for me, it's Robotech. Like, I want to see somebody nail Robotech. Right. I know they're working on something right now. But this is like Battle of the Planets is what they watched on Saturday morning. Okay. And so this is where the power goes to their heads, I think. I don't know if there's a market for this. Yeah. But, you get the Russos attached, you get some stars in it, you can make it work. Sure, but it's funny. It's weird. It's like, we're going to do a big budget Sigmund and the Sea Monster reboot. Right. They already did that Land of the Lost. Right. It didn't do so good. No. So anyway, that's what they had to say. But yeah, the big panel was the Marvel panel for a thing that does not have necessarily a huge release attached to it. It was huge. They had a mother effing ton of stars there. They had a ton of stuff to announce. Yes. And I guess that we should just start banging through it. Sounds good. They did one of those things that Kevin Feige did 4 or 5 years ago, which, remember, totally changed. Did you enjoy Captain America and the Serpent Society? Did you enjoy that? Oh, yeah, totally. How about that Inhumans movie? Was that any good? Uh-huh. But the calendar that we have right now is... probably 60% TV stuff and 40% movie stuff. We've, of course, got the Black Widow movie, which is imminent. That's coming out May 1st of next year. You think they would have had more to show. They're flying pretty low to the ground on this. So Scarlett Johansson, who our personal issues with her aside that we've talked about on the last show, does deserve this. I don't feel like she's getting what she deserves. She should have. Maybe she's literally, I'm sure she's filming right now, but it should have been a huge splash for this. Like you have Tom Hiddleston come out as Loki and do a big thing. Like, I feel like it got, in the same way that I feel like Captain Marvel got overshadowed by the approach of Endgame, I feel like Black Widow is being overshadowed by the announcement of Phase 4. Yeah, I don't disagrey with you, for sure. Was she even there? Or I don't think she was. Okay, she, like you said, she's probably shooting. Yeah. So we got the announcement of the May 1st release of Black Widow. Of course, the fall release of the Falcon Winter Soldier series. Looking forward to that. Which I'm looking forward to as well. Eternals was announced. It's been announced, but we got a date, which is November 8th of next year. Oh, wow. Then in, in February of the next year, there is going to be something else that I thought that I would be able to get by the time I got there. Oh, okay. For 2021. Yes. Okay. I took a picture. I'm going off a picture I took of the screen, and I can't read what this says. So let's make this a bit in the show. Oh, my gosh. What is that word? I don't know. The red words. The red words. 30 seconds on red words. Go. Red words. It could be like Iron Man Returns, Captain Marvel. I don't know. I think
Doctor Strange. I think the Doctor Strange
Get ahead of
movie.
us.
Okay.
Stick to it.
All right.
You're not vamping very good.
I'm not vamping very good. I think there are a lot of movies that could have red lettering on them.
I should not have asked you to do something that you can't handle. Okay, well, speaking about being overshadowed, it's Shang-Chi. It's
okay.
coming out in February of 2021.
Okay.
And yeah, speaking of things being overshadowed, heard a lot about that Shang-Chi.
Not a whole lot.
Not me either.
So, yeah.
Although I will say the star of the Shang-Chi movie had a great moment in that he was on stage. He also tweeted later about how excited he is. And I think people are going to embrace this guy. Simu Liu is the guy.
Okay, cool.
I think people are in for this.
That's awesome. I think it's really cool that we're getting an Asian main
Finally.
character. Yeah.
Yes. An Asian main character. First time ever. Okay, I got a better picture now, so we're moving forward.
All right.
The WandaVision show's coming out spring of 2021.
Okay, cool.
Yes. We also had the announcement, the May 7 release of 2021 of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, which just sounds enticing.
Which I think is going to be them doubling down on there being a multiverse, even though they introduced it as a joke in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, I don't know why either. But, Marvel, I think, has this... I think it has the Dora disease, write it down, where... they've got a goofy source material. And so I think they are afraid to embrace it sometimes. And so they'll go like, they'll do like George Michael trying to get a dance with Heather Graham. And he's like, I thought I'd just come up and be like, oh, you want to dance? And then, maybe she'd like do it because she thinks it's funny. But then we actually start dancing. And then later on, he sees another kid do that. And he's like, I can't believe that would have worked. Yeah, you want to do this? I think that they introduce things like that, and then when people are excited, they go, "Oh yeah, we're totally serious
doubling
about that.
down on that.
Yeah, coming soon, coming soon." So anyway, yeah, that's good. Cargill's working on that, so
cool.
He'll never tell you anything, but you can be happy that you're supporting somebody,
right?
Loki, the show is coming out spring 2021. Going to be a big spring of 2021.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of stuff happening.
In summer of 2021, we'll get that What If show.
Okay. Sounds good.
Which is animated, I believe.
I think so. The first one is going to be...
What if Peggy was Captain America?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, which I think would be awesome. And voiced by Miss Dub Smash herself, Kaylee Atwell.
Oh, very cool.
Although, why can't we get her on screen?
I know, right?
Whatever. Do you think the What If tales will feature the Watcher? Are we going to jam the Watcher in here in 18 months?
I could see that happening.
If you're doing the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange is going to meet Uatu.
Yeah.
I'm doing the hand thing.
Yeah,
the Kirby
absolutely.
hand thing. You can't see it on the air.
Yeah. I can totally see that happening.
Listen, I must tell you. Yes. Sworn never to interfere. Why don't you wear your gloves anymore? And if we've got... Why doesn't he wear the gloves?
I don't know.
He wore them in Ragnarok, and they did look dumb. Because they were like thick and weird. And it's different when you draw something on a page,
Sure.
It's just skin tight. So just CGI skin tight gloves on him.
Yeah, there you go. That'd
little
be a
spots.
way to do it. Yeah.
Gotta wear those.
Yeah.
It's the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, exactly.
No choice.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's coming out fall of 2021 on Disney Plus.
Yes.
A Hawkeye show.
Hawkeye show.
It's brought to you by Ram Truck. And theme song by Jeremy Renner.
Right. Exactly.
Shooting arrows in the air. He's loving like he don't care. He is a rock star now. I don't know if you knew that.
I know. I did know that. Do you think we're going to get Kate Bishop finally?
There's no other story to tell. We have to.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'd be sad if we didn't get the Swordsman, but I mean, like, what else is there to do?
I know.
You just killed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
So you're not going to explore the S.H.I.E.L.D. angle. So,
right.
Or maybe you will.
Maybe you will.
Clark Gregg, stay by the phone.
Yeah, there you go.
And November 5th of 2021, we get Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yes.
Which it has been announced.
Yes.
That the role of Thor will be played
by Natalie Portman. Yes.
Jane Foster.
Yes.
Which makes me wonder why she had such a small part in Endgame.
I know.
You've literally got a commitment from the actress who, let's face it, didn't need you.
No.
Maybe she did in 2000 whenever Thor came out.
Right. But even
has
that's
done,
questionable.
Has won an Oscar in the meantime.
Yeah.
Doesn't need you.
Yeah.
Is rightfully frustrated that she's got nothing to do. And so you could have just done okay, we'll just take your hat, Terrence Howard, and we'll go our separate ways. But instead they're like, baby, I can change. What if, you get to be Thor? Get your tiny little arms around this hammer?
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And that's like a dream. That's like a Wizard magazine casting scenario.
I know, right?
And they did it.
I know.
Because, like Amazon, they have no restrictions.
I know.
They're playing with the safeties off in God mode. They can just do whatever and go, what if we just gave Natalie Portman $20 million and she just came back and played Jane Foster?
I know.
So, is Thor in space? We did not get any Guardians 3 news at this
No, we did not.
Really.
I think
no Black Panther news.
No.
Except there is a Black Panther 2. It's been confirmed. And a Captain Marvel 2. So strange and slightly racist in that top 5 highest grossing movies of all time, and you barely talk about the sequel.
Yeah, that is strange.
Is it Black Avatar? Black Avatar. I'd argue that Avatar is Black Avatar.
Say that. Yeah.
Black people loved Avatar.
Yeah, I know.
I look at the demographics. Is it just seen as a flash in the pan?
I don't think so. I mean, it was super celebrated and well accepted.
But wasn't it like self-congratulatory back patting? Like, oh, I love this movie about black people.
Maybe. I don't know.
We bring it on just enough trope.
Yeah. I think that the audiences genuinely enjoyed it and really enjoyed seeing a black superhero. Yeah. So I don't understand why it's downplayed so much.
I think maybe part of it is I don't think that, and I haven't seen the pictures, but I don't think that like Feige's got a lot of people of color on his team, and so I think you made the right sensitive decision of we want to do justice to this African,
right? Period,
not an American character. So bring in all African American cast. The actors are African American,
right?
Let Ryan Coogler be, Black Kevin Feige for the whole thing.
Right.
But then if he's off doing something else and he can't take a call right now, then we don't know what to say.
We just don't say anything.
Because we've kind of given it all to them.
I guess I could see that maybe that's what happened.
God, I hope Bilbo's going to be back, though. I need a way into that movie.
Oh,
Tell me what's happening, white man.
Stop
What's going on?
Stop.
They killed off Claw.
I know, they do. And I stop killing the bad guys, Marvel. Yeah. I want to start a campaign. Stop killing your bad guys. Because I want to see him come back.
Little drips and drabs. Kevin Feige has confirmed that Eternals and Thor 4 will feature LGBTQ characters.
Well, that's good news.
Yes.
Because we need that. We need more than just like one of the Russo brothers being like, I'm gay.
We sure do.
Yeah.
We've also had announcements about some of the cast and characters that will appear in the Eternals film. Angelina Jolie has been confirmed. She'll be playing Thena.
Okay. Who's Thena?
Thena is... So, every week we talk about the Eternals and you forget and we have to do it again.
Okay.
The Eternals are all like off-brand gods, but off-brand in that they are the real people that a lot of these myths are based on. So our Athena is an off-brand version of Thena. It's a corruption of that. So they all represent like these historical or mythological figures. Angelina Jolie will be Athena. That's their war goddess, basically.
Okay.
Actor Ma Dong-seok will be playing Forgotten One. That's Gilgamesh.
Okay.
Richard Madden will be playing Icarus. He's kind of the like male hero, the sort of Athena-esque guy, warrior.
Okay.
Kumail, we don't know. Kumail Nanjiani. I thought this was interesting that Salma Hayek will be playing Ajak.
Who's Ajak?
Ajak is like Ajax. It's like a warrior type character, like a tough dude usually, but it's going to be played by Salma Hayek.
Nice.
Brian Tyree Henry will be playing Phaestos.
Okay.
He's like Hephaestus.
Okay.
A gadget guy. Lauren Ridloff will be playing Makari.
Okay.
Makari is like Mercury, basically.
Okay.
Like their speedster.
Sure.
I like the fact that a lot of these... Now I'm just realizing, a lot of the Eternals were dudes. I guess I didn't really think about that.
Huh.
And so they are just, trying to split it down gender and race lines, which is awesome.
That is cool.
Mercury can't be a girl. I don't know Lauren Ridloff, though. Leah McHugh is playing Sprite. So it looks like we didn't get that Finn Wolfhard that we were looking for.
No. That's okay.
That's fine.
He can be in another Marvel movie down the road.
Absolutely. Or maybe if he plays his cards right, he can play a little white boy in Blade.
I know.
Surprise announcement.
Yeah.
Mahershala Ali will be playing Blade in a Phase 5 movie. So this will be down the road, but we're getting Blade.
Yeah.
Do it! Man.
I'm kind of...
It's open season and all suckheads.
Yeah. I do hope Wesley Snipes is in there somewhere.
Indelible characters and actors that portray them. How can you do Blade without Wesley Snipes?
I don't think you can. I think you need to bring him back and have him be like the mentor or something like that.
How do you pass down Bladeness, though? Blade is Blade.
I don't know. I think you have to have him play another character, but it's like a nod to the original.
I guess they did have like James Garner play Maverick's father in Maverick. That's the worst example. Just tell me right there. You can just tell me to shut up. Nobody cares about that. Maverick. Anyway, yeah. So that is... I'm glad Blade's back.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes can literally do a jump kick still. I don't know why we're not using him.
I know.
Although I love Ali. But for me, this is the dark side of Marvel's Amazon money thing.
Yeah.
Which is, screw it, let's do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who just won the Oscar? Get me Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right.
Who just won an Oscar? Get me Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Who just won an Oscar? Get me Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, I know.
When you win an Oscar, and maybe we'll see this at next year's ceremony, they hand you your statue. Taped to the bottom is the Marvel role you'll be playing in 3 years.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Which I don't know how I feel about that entirely, but
I mean, clearly they are
good actors.
People who have an appeal.
Yeah.
And they are quote unquote good actors. But, just come on, guys.
I know.
Act like you're trying, or act like you're not trying.
Right.
I'm not sure which one it is. Act like you're not a giant corporation that can do whatever you want.
Yes, that one.
Oh, we found this this little known person.
Right.
Like the guy who's playing Shang-Chi, whose name I don't remember because I don't know who he is.
Yes.
I assume he's an awesome choice. They didn't just go out and get John Cho.
Right, exactly.
Nothing wrong with John Cho, except that he's 50. But they didn't just go out and get Asian guy.
Yeah, exactly.
They went out and got a guy who is going to be great for the role.
Exactly.
John Cho's Korean, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So he can't play Shang-Chi.
Okay. Well, he could, but people would probably be upset about it.
It'd be embarrassing.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
Kimchi and egg roll.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm excited about all this Marvel news, but it is a lot to digest. But yeah, it sounds like 2021 is going to be super busy.
Yeah.
But there's none of the news that I'm disappointed in. So
it's not a calm before. This is the storm before the storm.
Right.
There is a storm coming.
Yeah.
Ventor tormente or whatever.
Right.
But this is it. This is the beginning.
I think didn't they mention like Fantastic Four, but they didn't say anything specific.
They basically said, I didn't even want to mention it because it's really
sorry.
non-committal. But yeah, like at the end of the panel, he's like, "Oh, and also there's Fantastic Four." Like,
right.
Okay,
as non-committal as you can get.
Give me like a, McFeely and Marcus are working on it or something.
Right.
Or give me we cast John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as the Richards or whatever.
Right. Exactly. Something, but they didn't really give us much of anything. So.
Well. Speaking of having money,
yeah,
Marvel does.
Yes, they do.
Endgame has finally passed Avatar.
I heard that
in a cheap stunt.
Yeah,
but
right.
They still did it.
Yeah,
as the highest grossing film of all time.
Yes,
by about. It's so mathematical that
I know.
It's by about a $500,000 margin, which at this level is nothing.
This is true. Yeah, and
James Cameron could sneeze and another couple million would fall out and they'd be back on top.
And
technically,
yes,
they're number one.
And it's all thanks to the re-release and additional deleted scenes. Yeah.
So that's it for the San Diego Comic-Con news. At least that's relevant to our interests. What did we learn?
I think we learned that Marvel's going to cram a lot of stuff in. And we got a lot of looks at trailers that look enticing. And apparently SDCC is where you break your Star Trek news, even though you got the huge Star Trek con next weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess Las Vegas will just be, let's just bask in it.
I
Or maybe
guess.
they're saving, no, it's Picard's trailer.
Yeah.
There's what are they saving? Doesn't matter. We don't talk about Star Trek on the show. Come back Wednesday if you're interested on enterprising individuals, and we'll talk about what they're saving.
Sure.
But yeah, so boy, do you feel like I feel like I just took a big dump? Better than that. I felt like I just ate a great meal, which is, I guess, the opposite of taking a big dump. But
right.
It's a lot to dissolve, and of course, or dissolve in your
Digest
stomach, or digest. But of course, we'll be covering all of it in the future. It's good to know that we're going somewhere. I don't want to say that I am underwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed because we want more Thor. We want that Black Widow finally.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I wanted a Shang-Chi, but I want to see where it goes.
Right.
This TV stuff, I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I don't either.
It feels a little empty without a Captain America, though, doesn't it?
It does a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
no
not
Iron
just a little
Man.
TV show.
Yeah, I know.
And no Iron Man, but
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Do you think they would have teased an Avengers film, for because I assume there's going to be one in Phase 4.
I assume there will be.
Early 2022 or something. But.
Yeah. And it'll be the new Avengers or something like that.
Yeah. The
I
new
mean,
Avengers.
Yeah, no more Black Widow either, so.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
see.
All right.
A lot of things happening.
Yeah.
And we'll be there to report it on Just Enough Trope. So follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Just Enough Trope to get those updates. And subscribe to the show. Come on. If you haven't already, go to iTunes, Google Guys, Mans, Stitcher Boys, whatever you do. Acast Girls.
Sure.
And subscribe to the show. Best way to get it. As soon as it's ready, every week, it comes right to your inbox, to your device, whatever it is. So do it. Also, give us a review. We want to hear how you think we're doing and what we should talk about on future shows and all that good stuff and the things that you like and want to hear about. And give us a rating. That's really the most important thing to give us, because that's when we teach those algorithms what's what. And people are listening. And I mean, at this point, we could probably drop this part of the show, right? People are just going to rate us or they're not. I think the algorithm has already made a decision about us, but who knows?
We can keep on trying.
Shake it up.
That's right.
Like the Cars. Was it the Cars or just Rick Ocasek?
I
think
don't
that was the Cars.
know.
Yeah, shake it up. It's magic. And get us up there because we'd appreciate it. So to that end, give us 5 hammers that hopefully Natalie Portman will go to the gym and lift to get a little stronger. I know it's magic. Again,
You want to see some
the Cars.
guns, though.
But yeah, just a little definition, right?
Yeah, sure.
Go back, do the Black Swan workout again.
There you go.
But protein bars this time, right? We're going to get a little bit...
A little bulky.
She's a chameleon-esque,
Yeah,
right?
she is. Yeah, definitely.
She transforms for roles. So
Yeah.
I want to see a little more definition.
Okay.
Because we've come all the way back around.
Yeah.
Want me to tell you what I'm talking about?
Yes, please do.
In that, we've made... the men as well. I mean, I know there's a long way to go, but we've made men as objects as much as we have women now.
Yeah, that's true.
When all the stories are about Captain America's butt or his
I know, right?
or his
That is
workout
America's
routine
ass.
or
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie's I'll tell you how many protein shakes I ate. Yeah, I think we could bring it back to the girls too.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Brie Larson didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know. She's
Brie Larson.
Yeah, I know.
I want to see Natalie Portman get neck veins. Hulk out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
A little scared.
I'm all alone with that, but maybe it'll happen. So follow us and see if that happens. Give us 5 stars. We'd appreciate it. We'll be back next week to talk about something else. And until we're starting off, I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Megan Hanna.
Keep the geek fires burning.